Alright, we're back with the 1995 Suzuki DR650. As you guys know, last video we picked this thing up for 800 bucks with a title. And we actually got it running last video, but right now it only idles. As soon as you hit the throttle, it shuts down. Last video we went over the valves, we went over the carburetor, we checked the oil, everything checks out, timing checks out. The guy before me put a new CDI in there and a new stator. So spark is good, spark plugs are good, has great compression, it's getting fuel, it just will not rev out. And we left off last video where we had the carburetor part over here. And I was just kind of looking at the carburetor trying to figure out, you know, what is going on with it. And I was looking up diagrams online, at forums, and I stumbled across something that I think might be the potential problem. So if we look right here on the diaphragm cover, you can see there's a little port right here, and that leads to the diaphragm right here. You can see my finger through it. That is actually supposed to go to the petcock on the tank on this side, and it's for a vacuum line. But as you guys know, this petcock is blocked off because this is a different tank. It's an aftermarket tank for it. So the previous owner never blocked off the vacuum line port, which is right there. So that's just sucking in air. And I looked up some forums and they said if you install a bigger tank like this, you have to block off that port, otherwise your bike is going to run really crappy. So I'm pretty sure that's the problem. So we made a little cap for it. I have a hose here, just like this, and a screw in the top. And we're just gonna plug that up like that. Push that on there, and that will seal that off. And I'm thinking that was the whole problem. It was just sucking in air. So let's reassemble the carburetor, throw that back on, and see if we can rev this bike out completely. It might not be the problem, it might be. I haven't checked it yet, so hopefully it is. That would be an easy fix. All right, here we go. Vinny's ready. Let's see if it runs a little bit better with that capped off. Alright, so obviously that didn't work. A couple people in the comments said to take off the silencer. Maybe that's plugged up. So let's do that and see if that helps at all. All right, pipe is off. Let's see what happens now. Nope, that wasn't the fix. Didn't make a difference. All right, so plugging up that carburetor didn't work. Taking the pipe off didn't work. It's still running exactly the same. So I don't know what to try now. All right, so we're gonna do a little experiment. I took out the cage in the air filter box, and we are gonna put my hand over it and just kind of plug that hole up and just see if it revs out at all. Because that'll kind of tell me if it's the air filter that we need, which is coming today, so we can install that today. It'll kind of tell us if we're running, you know, too lean, too rich, and we'll plug up that hole and see if that carb works better like that. Because I think the carburetor needs that resistance there in order to work properly. I think it needs that resistance. You can see I put my hand over it. We're actually revving it up. Sounding pretty good. Haha, I think that was the problem all along. I think it might be the air filter. So the air filter should be here in a couple hours. We'll throw that on, see what happens, but it's running a lot better now. Idling really nicely too without the choke on. Choke isn't on. We're at, I don't think the RPM gauge works. Try one more time here. Oh yeah, that sounds way better. All right, air filter came in the mail. Let's see if this is gonna be the ticket. So here's the cage. So that should fit right on there. It's looking good. Whoa, Vinny. Vinny's sniffing the air filter. Vinny, what do you think of this, buddy? Come here. What do you think of that? Is that gonna fix it? No, no bite in it. Vinny's excited. I think it's gonna work. All right, we just have to oil this up now. All right. This is foam filter oil. Let's see if there's any left in here. Seems like there's some left. Put a little bit on this side. We'll rub that in. It's a thick filter. Okay, it's starting to become pretty tacky now. All right. Let's see if we can get the cage in there. Don't think it matters which way it goes on. Don't think. Gotta do this without ripping the filter. There we go. Looks pretty good. Like that. All right, let's install that. All right, now let's see, how does this thing work here? Looks like it goes straight up. It's gonna be a little tricky getting the cage in there. All right, air filter's all installed. Let's see what happens here. All right, here we go. To try it. I hope it works. This thing really warm up, and then we'll try it. Wanted to rev out there for a second. All right, air filter was not the fix. I thought for sure it would be. All right, so we'll check out the float height here. You can see pretty much right where we need to be at 14.8 millimeters. So measuring from the gasket surface to the top of the float there. Before we were about half that, we were like 7-8 millimeters. So. No backfiring. So right now it revs out good. Everything is working good. So I think it was the float height, and then I changed the needle height as well. There's a little piece that was broken off, and so I put another washer on there to raise up the needle a little bit higher in the carb, and that seemed to help too. So we'll have to take it for a ride here and just see how it goes. All right, we got a brand new battery for this thing. Vinny's here checking it out. We're hoping this thing is gonna have enough cranking amps for it. It's a pretty big bike, so we will see. Doesn't say how many cranking amps it has. All right, found it. Cold cranking amps 180. That should be plenty. So hopefully that'll work. Now the question is this thing gonna fit in here? Hopefully it won't be too wide or too tall. Oh, that is like perfect. Oh, we probably have to go the other way with it. That makes more sense. This battery was meant for this bike. Brass spacers go right in here. All right, we gotta take off the bolt down here. You can see that's a 21 millimeter bolt. Let's take that off and see what that oil looks like. It looked good from the window. And it takes 2,000 milliliters of oil. Got our breaker bar here. Let's see if we can get this thing off. That was pretty easy. Usually it's a little tougher than that. So I'm thinking the oil was changed right when the guy got it, which was a couple of years ago. So we'll see here. Yeah, it looks pretty new. Looks like brand new oil. You can see it's just brand new stuff. But we'll measure it out and we'll make sure there's enough in there. Really good. That's pretty fresh oil. All right, we're just gonna add a little bit more to it. I can see it's in the window, but we're about halfway. A little bit less than halfway. So we're just gonna fill it up a little bit more than that. A little bit of fresh oil, 10W40. That should be good right there. So if we see, if we tip the bike up straight. You can see in the window there. You got right at the full mark. So we are good to go. All right, just took some time and cleaned up the whole bike. I mean, check that thing out. That is clean. You can't do anything about the bottom of the tank. That's not gonna come off unless you wet sand and buff that out. But she is really clean. I mean, look at the frame. The paint on there is amazing. That is just crazy. Thing is super clean, looking really good. Let's hope it moves now. Here we go, first ride on the DR 650. Let's see what this thing can do. Hopefully it goes throughout the gears and revs out. It's come a long way since we bought it, but we'll see if it continues to improve here. Seems like it's revving out yet. That's good. Oop. Shut off on me. Huh. Wonder if I turn the gas off here. There's patches of ice everywhere. It's moving pretty good. It's just sketchy because it's icy. It's kind of surging a little bit. Wonder if it needs to choke on a little bit more. Yeah, I think we're still warming up there. That's better. Man, it moves pretty good. Definitely revs out fine. Maybe oil just needs to be adjusted a little bit higher. I think that's what it might be. Yeah, I think oil needs to be adjusted a bit. Because if I keep on the throttle, it'll stay on. I don't know if I can turn it. It's a little tough to turn. Going pretty good. Very smooth bike. Ooh, little backfire there. Yeah, we might need to work on the carb a little bit more. It's not horrible. There's neutral. Alright. So we'll adjust the idle a little bit higher and we'll take it for another ride. See if it runs a little bit better now. Oh, it's staying idling at least. There we go. Running pretty good. Could probably use a little adjustment down low. You can see her kind of breaking up down low a little bit. Other than that, not too bad. Just happy it revs out completely like this. See, it stutters a little bit down low, but it's not bad. So yeah, pretty good. I think fuel screw needs to be adjusted a little bit more. But really, that is pretty good. Very smooth once you get in like second, third gear. First gear, when you're really low on idle, it stutters a little bit, but once you get past like quarter throttle, she's good. So I think the needle position is actually fine. I think the main jet is fine. It's just that fuel screw that's probably needs to be adjusted, maybe a little bit in. I think it sounds rich right now. So yeah, this thing's pretty much fixed. Can't believe it. So the air filter plus the float height plus the change in the needle, that was the culprit. This thing runs pretty good now. Not too bad for 800 bucks. All right, first ride went way better than expected. At the beginning of this video, I thought for sure we had like an electrical issue or something weird with it, but it turned out that having the air filter and the float height correct actually makes a difference. Who would have thought? First ride went really well. Revs out completely. It sounds really good from quarter throttle to full throttle. Down low, I just need to do a couple tweaks to the fuel screw and this thing's gonna be perfect. So I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I'm actually kind of liking the look of the camouflage. I actually don't think that looks that bad. If you wear like a black helmet and a green shirt with it, you kind of match the bike and it looks pretty cool, I thought. So yeah, I think the camouflage seat is going to stay. I'm kind of liking it the more I look at it. Kind of looks adventurous, doesn't it, Ben? What do you think, buddy? Oh. Looks like Vinny doesn't like the camouflage. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video on this thing. It came a long way from when we bought it. And it's running pretty good. Thanks again for all the comments, all the suggestions on how to fix this thing. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next one. And until next time, we are out.